Howdy friendos, my name is Stuart and welcome to technically part 2 of our little Venom thing. I actually made a Venom and Eddie alignment video quite a while ago, and now I'm just coming back and just kind of finishing off. If you're coming just off of the comic or the Raimi movies, you need to know that Venom and Eddie Brock are different from any of those. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that YouTubers are asking you to do, because if I say the word subscribe, people are apparently more likely to subscribe. Thanks, human behavior. Anyway, let's get started. After Eddie fought and beat the Life Foundation, life hasn't exactly been easy for the reporter and his tag-along. Eddie has fallen into a string of bad luck with his reporting, he has lost touch with his ex-fiancée Anne, and is desperately trying to keep Venom in check through several rules that they've come up with. Venom, meanwhile, wants to be a lethal protector and help Eddie's living arrangements as well. Also, as a side note from the previous video, last time I assumed that Venom ate brains for kicks, but apparently he needs this to survive, and I'm always willing to admit when I'm wrong. I did not know that. He needs to eat brains to live, and the bigger the brain, the better. The only non-lethal substitute is chocolate, but Venom can't survive on that forever, so he's actually, like, kind of going through some, like, hunger pangs in this movie. It's interesting. So, just to leave off from last time, we will continue Eddie at neutral good, where he left off in the last video, but Venom will be nudged, let's give him 2 dings towards chaotic neutral. He is actively trying to behave, but he's looking out for himself and Eddie in a self-serving manner. But again, this is a part 2. We aren't done yet. We'll be covering actually 2 more characters this video, and that is the foil to Eddie Brock, I think, Cletus Cassidy, and his symbiote Carnage. Abused by his parents and grandmother, Cletus eventually killed them all and wound up in St. Estes' home for unwanted children, where he met the love of his life, Frances Barrison? Am I saying that right? Nicknamed Shriek. While they were eventually separated, Cletus continued to kill and maim dozens of victims before ending up in prison and getting the death penalty. I think it's safe to say that Cletus is definitely chaotic evil. The movie does go to some attempts to make him human later, but whatever. The dude is a killer who loves to kill, and he revels in the chaos for his own enjoyment. He's a serial killer for kicks. You can't get much more chaotic evil. He's also looking for his lost love, but the murders aren't doing that to look for her either. That would be different, but he's just killing because he wants to. Also, Carnage is a symbiote from space, and he gets his... Actually, no, he's not. Fuck, I'm sorry. Carnage, as opposed to being an alien sludge monster from outer space, is instead a native-born Earthling. Technically speaking. See, one day while in prison, Eddie was interviewing Cletus, and during the interview, Cletus bit Eddie, and instead of drawing blood, he got some of Venom's symbioteness. This basically combined itself with Cassidy's blood and made Carnage. The literal first thing we see Carnage do is tear his way through a prison to escape. Considering he was born seconds ago, let's go with neutral evil? I really don't think that's where he's gonna end up, but like, yeah, this isn't a Mewtwo situation where he was scared and confused. Carnage was born with a murder boner. Let's see where it goes. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's go.
Are you aware that your roommate is a hideous monster from another dimension with evil plans for world domination?
Listen, a good roommate relationship is based on a respect for privacy.
Quite frankly, that's why I was so glad to find this great apartment. You'd be surprised how hard it is to get a place in the city. Never mind that most folks are hesitant to rent to a slime-based organism, much less one with intentions of taking over the world.
And eating brains too! Don't forget the brains!
Eddie is called in with serial killer Cletus Cassidy after the first movie stinger. Eddie doesn't want to do this, only agreeing after a pep talk from Venom. Lawful good for Eddie for this and trying to control Venom. Chaotic evil for Venom for fighting about Anne and wanting to eat a detective's brain. Definitely chaotic evil.
Welcome back, Eddie Brock. I've been thinking about you.
Calling Eddie in and trying to channel Hannibal Lecter, Cletus is willing to give information to Eddie to help his career. While he's trying to spin cryptic nonsense with hints about buried bodies, Cletus is actually trying to send a message to Shriek, neutral evil.
Look, I'm looking. Grab those.
Venom takes a peek into Cletus' cell and recreates the symbols on the wall to help Eddie. This works and allows Eddie to find several bodies without telling the police like he promised. With the death penalty now reinstated just for him, Cletus' death is assured. He takes it well. Neutral good for both Eddie and Venom.
I'm starving!
So eat those guys!
I can't. Sonny and Cher are best friends.
Are you serious?
With the day saved and now starving, Venom forces Eddie to get him food after he refuses to eat his pet chickens. Brock is on a deadline, but eventually relents. Neutral good for Brock, chaotic neutral for Eddie.
Chocolate hasn't arrived yet.
We have a deal.
What's gonna happen? You gonna stop protecting me?
I don't know how I feel about having chocolate hush money as protection, but chaotic neutral for both of them?
Not this again! I need human brains!
With chocolate reserves empty, Eddie forces Venom to eat chicken brains from a nearby farm, even if Venom hates this. This helps Venom calm down and not eat a criminal's brain later that night. Chaotic neutral for Eddie, neutral good for Venom, weirdly enough.
I shall remove your head!
No, you won't.
I will use it for bowling!
No, you will not.
Getting a call from his ex-fiancée Anne, Eddie and Venom learn to their horror that Anne is engaged to Dan. Neither takes this well, with Venom trying to force Eddie to make a scene in public while Eddie continues to try to hide Venom's existence. Chaotic neutral for the both of them.
I'm going to make her cry now, Eddie. She will love it. Cry. Cry.
Angry at Venom's actions, Eddie begins playing chicken in the dark and the rain. Venom tries to apologize by making breakfast and fix their relationship. Chaotic evil for Eddie for scaring everyone on the road and messing with Venom, and neutral good for Venom for really trying to make things up.
Tomatoes, I like tomatoes, and I like tomatoes.
Receiving word from Cletus, and also a fun animated history of Cletus, Eddie is invited to his execution. Despite the danger, Eddie goes to learn what he can and help a victim's families. Also, good on Eddie for pointing out the flaws in the prison system. So yeah, lawful good.
Can't be sure who is and who is not guilty, buddy.
They're in prison!
Yeah, but some people take false confessions. They take pleas. We watch Making a Murderer.
Cletus invites Eddie, hoping to guilt and curse the man who has rushed his death. Unintentionally, he insults Venom, who attacked Cletus. During the fight, Cletus takes a bite from Eddie, only to realize something is strange. Chaotic evil for Cletus, and chaotic neutral for Venom.
Any clues of outstanding bodies we've lost forever? It's completely...
I didn't mean to!
You didn't mean to?
Enraged that he didn't get any more info on Cletus, Eddie has a drag-out fight with Venom. The two have a violent breakup, with Eddie pulling the fire alarm and Venom bouncing from person to person, dismantling Eddie's new bike. Chaotic evil for both of them. This is actually really funny.
I wish I never met you! Sayonara!
As Cletus tells everyone to enjoy his execution, the Carnage symbiote is born, saving his host and slaughtering everyone. I know some may argue that since Carnage has just been created, we should put him at neutral, since that's kind of my default, but considering the bloodbath that we see... I'm gonna aim towards neutral evil for his starting alignment. Repairing his home and evicting Sonny and Cher, Eddie learns that Cletus has escaped. Despite being told to lay low as Cletus wants him, Eddie tries to find any leads that he can. He even keeps the police in the loop this time. Lawful good.
Crapola! Another one bites the dust!
While Eddie reports, Venom has continued to hop around between unwilling hosts. He enjoys himself at a party, but begins to realize that he wishes he could show Eddie how good he's doing. Chaotic neutral. Also, extra neutral good ding for behaving at a party and promoting unity, even if the party gets a mixed message. This is just funny. Weird existential Venom is funny Venom.
Hello, darling. Racer Red got to have it.
Spotting Shriek's dream car, Cletus steals it before he and Carnage begin chatting. They both agree to help find the people they want. Shriek for Cletus and Venom for Carnage. Lawful equal to the both of them.
Can I help you, sir?
After killing a gas station attendant, Cletus and Carnage break into Ravencross Institution to free Shriek. Cletus even makes sure that Shriek is aware of Carnage before killing the staff. Lawful evil. Also, the whole hacking into the internet thing, I'm gonna give that a nat 1. That's a stupid plot point. You didn't need to do that.
She does that again, I'll eat her face.
This is the first big sign of not everything is great. Carnage, affected by Shriek's scream, warns Cletus that if she continues to do that, he will eat her face. Cletus tells Shriek to calmly not to do that again before they prepare for the Red Wedding. Their words, not mine. Neutral evil and chaotic evil for Carnage.
Well, you know what I keep thinking? I keep thinking, what else is Eddie Brock not sharing about Cletus Cassidy?
Following the attack on the Ravencroft Institute, Brock is brought in for his connections with the first movie and now. Realizing that Cletus has his hands on his own symbiote, Brock calls Anne and admits Venom is alive and that he needs her help. Lawful good.
He said he didn't need him. That life was better without him.
Okay, I don't understand. What do you care? Oh, wait a second.
Weakened from a lack of brains or chocolate, Venom goes to Mrs. Chen for help. Possessing Mrs. Chen, Venom is confronted by Anne, who eventually realizes it's Venom, but not before a lot of insults lobbed at Dan. While initially resistant on going back to Eddie, with enough sweet-talking, Venom agrees, chaotic neutral. Possessing Anne so we can get some she-Venom for a fraction of a second, Venom breaks Eddie out of his prison, refusing to bond with his former host until he apologizes. Realizing time is of the essence, Eddie apologizes for everything he's done. Venom tries once again to reunite Eddie and Anne before bonding with his former host and punching Dan in the face. Neutral good for Eddie, chaotic good for Venom.
Cassidy, place your hands on your head. Which, hands?
Needing presents and witnesses for their wedding, Cletus and Carnage collect Detective Mulligan for Shriek, and when they can't find Eddie or Venom, the two capture Anne as bait, leaving Dan alive to tell them where the ceremony will be. Chaotic evil for everyone involved.
There you are. Shit!
Whoa, where you going? What you doing?
This is much worse than I thought. That is a red one. Wow.
Learning what happened, Eddie and Venom rush to stop the wedding, only to realize Venom's a dad. Now, he says red ones are dangerous, but it seems a little sus. Venom only agrees to fight when Eddie promises they can eat all the bad guys' brains there. Lawful good for Eddie, chaotic good for Venom.
Time to die.
That's the spirit.
I mean us. We are going to die.
The fight rages on as Carnage quickly begins overpowering Eddie and Venom. However, Carnage quickly begins losing his patience and wants to stop Shriek's sound from harming him, something Cletus disagrees with as he fights against the symbiote. Neutral good for Cletus this time, chaotic evil for Carnage. With motivation and help from Dan and even Shriek, Eddie and Venom are able to overcome the odds and take a direct blast from Shriek to separate their hosts from their aliens. Eddie and Venom are able to save each other, but Cletus has a near-fatal fall while Carnage is separated from him. Lawful good for Eddie and Venom. Carnage tries in vain to reunite with his host, only for Venom to gobble him up. When Cletus reveals that all he wanted was friendship, Eddie apologizes, only for Venom to say,
"Fuck this guy,"
and gobble him up too. Neutral for Carnage and Cletus, neutral good for Eddie, and chaotic good for Venom. That's a lot of dings.
It means that we are...
fugitives!
Yeah.
On the run!
That too.
With the day saved, but wanted for his involvement with these monsters, Eddie and Venom say goodbye and flee. They decide to lay low, work on their relationship with each other, and I'm sure no other dangerous pairings were created in that chapel. Neutral good, twice.
You never should have kept such an insane secret, man.
We all have a past, Eddie.
You hiding stuff from me?
Relaxing, Venom decides to give Eddie a peek into the hive mind after the latter asks. They are both transported through the cosmos to a very familiar universe, with Venom intrigued by a breaking bulletin on television. Now Venom insists that he didn't do this, but he was ready to reveal some big stuff, so we'll just label this as neutral. Also, chaotic neutral for getting drunk during Spider-Man No Way Home. Not that it mattered. There honestly isn't a lot to talk about when it comes to the Venom 2 movie. They're just okay movies, and really the most interesting thing about it was the relationship between Carnage, Cletus, and Shriek. Unfortunately, the writers decided not to do anything with that, and they were just bad guys the entire movie. Venom and Eddie are a squabbling couple, and that's cute and fun, and it's very MCU, which is, I'm sure, benefiting them in a lot of ways. But otherwise, there's not much to go with. I refuse to watch Morbius. I'm just not doing it, guys. If Venom comes back into more Sony movies, I'll look at it then, but Morbius was bad, and it should feel bad. So, what do you guys think I should do next? I'm working on a couple projects, so there might be a point in the future where I take a few weeks off, but right now, there's quite a few lined up. But thank you to the patrons, and I'll see you next time.